Well, learners have lost at least 2 months of the academic year so far, and although plans are in place to catch up on lost work, there's still doubts about whether this is actually possible. University of Stellenbosch Department of Curriculum Studies Professor Michael Le Cordeur joins us now to discuss what can be done in the lead-up as well as after schools reopen. Professor, good evening to you. Thank you for your time today. The schools that learners will be going back to are going to be very different from the schools that they left. They're now going to have to wear face masks themselves. There'll be hand sanitizer everywhere. Their teachers will be wearing face masks. What should parents be doing to try and prepare them?
Yes, I think it is a difficult time, and like you said, schools will be very different than they used to know the schools. So let me start with the matrics quickly, so I need to say something about the matric class. When the minister spoke last night, she mentioned 3 things regarding the matrics that people must, and especially the parents of matriculants, must bear in mind. The one is the exam papers for the matric exams have been set already. That means, secondly, that there will be no trimming down of the curriculum for the matric. So the work still needs to be done. That's why they're going back to school first. And thirdly, they will not write their final exam in October. It now looks like it will be late November, even beginning December, when they will be writing those exams. So matrics have been out of school for 2 months. Some of them went to or had online learning. But we must recognize that the majority of our matric pupils will start with this huge backlog. So the little amount of time that they will have, they must use it wisely. And my advice to the matrics is to do 3 things for now, because you cannot build Rome within the next 2 weeks. First, make sure that you read all your prescribed books, because when school are going to start, there will be no time to read these books in the class. The teachers simply will not have the time. Secondly, work through past exam papers on your core subjects, because chances are that these subjects will be the subjects that will eventually determine whether you will get to a university access. And those 5 is your languages, mathematics, be it maths or maths literacy, life sciences and physical science, and accountancy. If you have those subjects, please start on with past exam papers.
Professor,
now,
I'm sorry,
yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt
yes,
you. I have to say, but when you point out that the matric exams have already been set, when you point out that we've lost 2 months of learning, it would seem almost quite unfair for the matrics of 2020.
It is a very difficult task at hand for them, because how do you make up 2 months of school if the exam papers are going to stay the same? And that's why I'm saying those matrics, where are we today? The 20th, it is about 12 days until the 1st of June. In these 12 days, they must try to make amends. And those 3 hints that I gave them is a very good start. But remember, it is only going to be a start. It is not the real thing. They will be under constant pressure.
Let's talk about the other grades for a moment. There's been talk, people have been using the phrase, I think, trimming the curriculum. I'm not entirely sure what they mean by doing that. But do you think that what children learn in 2020 in the other grades is actually going to be quite different from what they learnt in 2019? Will there be a big difference in the amount that children learn this year?
Well, it stands to reason that they cannot cover the whole curriculum. So it follows that some of that curriculum will also have to be trimmed. Now, what the department means by trimming the curriculum, I'm not quite sure. But if I understood them correctly, it means that those modules that they deem not important will be trimmed or it will be cut. And at the end of the day, what will remain is only the core curriculum that will take them forward to their next grade, meaning the things and the basic principles that they will need so that they can do the next grade, because the way the curriculum is structured is in such a way that, grade 12 builds on grade 11. So if you don't do grade 11 good, you will struggle in grade 12, etc., etc. You will have to pass grade 8 if you want to excel in grade 9. The one builds on the other. And I think that that's my opinion, please. It's only my opinion. They will stick to those basics that the learner will need to at least continue into the next grade. But what it is exactly, we don't know yet at this point in time.
Professor, obviously a very difficult set of decisions that have to be made by government, the National Coronavirus Command Council and the Ministry around whether schools go back. Do you have a view on whether this is the right decision?
Well, I wrote an article today saying that I don't think the last word about this has been written, and secondly, I concluded my article saying the whole country is holding its breath. Look, we must be very clear about this, that schools will have to reopen, whether it will be on the 1st of June or the 1st of September, but sometime schools will have to reopen, because we cannot keep schools shut down forever and forever, because this virus has no time limit to it. Because we cannot say that we will be virus-free on the 1st of June, the 1st of September, because we cannot determine that. It stands to reason that sometime in the future schools will have to reopen, and then the same things will have to be done in any case. So what you do today is not wasted energy and wasted time. It will benefit you sometime in the future.